You're sick, you're in pain, and you don't have medical insurance.
If you're in the same situation as me, listen up. Here are 5 cold, hard truths about fighting a chronic illness completely on your own.
First, pain management. Forget prescriptions. Your new best friends are ice packs, heating pads, and whatever over the counter stuff you can afford. Second, fatigue. It's a bone deep exhaustion. You learn to budget your energy like it's your last dollar. Third, brain fog. Imagine your thoughts are swimming through mud. Fourth, systemic inflammation. You turn to anti inflammatory diets because you have to. And finally, skin conditions. You spend hours on Google trying to self diagnose because a dermatologist is a luxury. This isn't a life you choose.
It's a battle you fight every single day on your own terms.
You know, everyone talks about having a positive mindset. Just think positive, they say. And a huge part of that is, knowing and accepting every single part of the situation you're in. But here's the part they don't always tell you. Sometimes that means accepting the negatives. It means embracing the facts that are really, really not ideal and finding the courage to just keep going. Sounds simple enough, right? But it's one of the hardest things you'll ever have to do. Imagine waking up every day with a body that feels like it's betraying you. You're dealing with a chronic disease, one with symptoms like deep, aching joint pain and a stiffness that makes every movement a monumental effort. You're battling a level of fatigue so extreme, so profound, it's like a heavy blanket you can never throw off. This isn't just being tired. This is a bone-deep exhaustion that steals your energy, your focus, your life, and the scariest part? It can get worse over time. It can lead to deformity, even disability. Because this isn't just a localized issue, it's a systemic disease. That means it can cause chaos throughout your entire body, affecting multiple organs and systems. It's an invisible war fought within your own skin. So it's pretty safe to assume that some days are just going to be better than others. On a good day, maybe the pain is just a dull hum in the background. On a bad day, it's a roaring fire that consumes everything. Of course, the first piece of advice is always seek medical attention. And you absolutely should. But we need to have a real, honest conversation about what happens when that's not possible. What do you do when you have to be your own doctor, your own advocate, your own caregiver? You have to become intensely aware of the physical struggles you're enduring, learning how to cope with the symptoms on your own, and desperately clinging to a positive mindset. That's what gets you through the really, really tough days. It becomes your lifeline. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about managing this pain without a pharmacy. Let's talk about the power of mind over matter. It's not about pretending the pain isn't there. It's about acknowledging it and then choosing where to put your focus. It's about learning to listen to your body when it screams for rest and actually giving it that rest without guilt. It's about looking at what you eat. Can certain foods be fanning the flames of inflammation? Could changing your diet, even in small ways, help dial down the pain? Things like cutting back on processed foods, sugar, and incorporating more anti-inflammatory foods like turmeric, ginger, and leafy greens. It's not a cure, but it can be a powerful tool in your arsenal. And then there are relaxation techniques. Deep breathing, meditation, gentle stretching. These aren't just fluffy feel-good activities. They are scientifically proven ways to calm your nervous system, which can in turn reduce your perception of pain. When you're in constant fight or flight mode because of pain, teaching your body to enter a state of rest and digest can be life-changing. Now, let's get brutally honest. Here's the sad, infuriating reality. Living in the United States in this day and age, not everyone can afford medical coverage. It's a fact. And I can tell you from personal painful experience, a lot of doctors don't seem to care unless you can pay them to care. It's a devastating truth to face when you're already at your most vulnerable. So, if you're one of those people like me who can't just go see a doctor, you're not alone. But it means you have to take charge. You have to become an expert on your own body. You have to care for yourself and make the absolute most of the situation you're in. This is where you dive deep into things like herbal remedies, researching plants like boswellia for inflammation, or white willow bark for pain, or valerian root for rest. You become your own researcher, your own pharmacist, your own hope. It's an exhausting, lonely, and often painful path. But please hear this, your struggle is real. Your pain is valid, even if no one else can see it. And your strength in just getting through each day, it's nothing short of heroic. Keep fighting, you're worth it. You know, sometimes life throws you a curveball that feels more like a cannonball. And when it comes to our health, that can be downright terrifying. I want to share a story with you, something that completely changed my perspective on what it means to take care of myself. A while back, I had total hip replacement surgery, Just getting the surgery approved by my insurance was a battle in itself, an absolute uphill climb, but I did it. I got through the surgery and then came the recovery. I was sent to this amazing physical therapy center, and let me tell you, I felt like a superstar. From the moment I walked in, they treated me like royalty. The therapists, the front desk staff, everyone. They were so kind, so encouraging. They'd say things like, "You're doing amazing today," or "We're so proud of your progress." They seemed genuinely invested in my well-being, in me getting better. And honestly, it was a massive boost. Feeling that loved, that supported, it does something to your mind. It makes you believe you can conquer anything. A positive mindset is such a powerful tool in recovery. I was riding high. Then came the day it all came crashing down. I showed up for my appointment, feeling good and ready to work. But instead of heading to the gym, the office lady called me into her little side room. She had this serious look on her face. She sat me down and explained that my medical coverage had expired. If I wanted to continue my therapy, I needed to provide a new plan. Today. Right now. I couldn't. I didn't have one. The walk out of that building was one of the longest of my life. I had to pass by all those same sweet people who had just days before treated me like I was the most important person in the world. The ones who said they wanted me to get well so badly. And now, they wouldn't even make eye contact. No one said a word. I went from feeling like a cared-for celebrity to, well, feeling like some creepy guy getting kicked out of a movie theater. Utterly pathetic. The feeling of being discarded, of no longer being valuable because my insurance ran out. It was crushing. I felt completely alone. But in that moment of shame and frustration, something shifted. I got home, and after letting myself feel all the anger and sadness, a new thought sparked. What if I can do this? What if I have to be the one to care for me? And that's what I want to talk about today. Because what happens when you can't see a doctor? What do you do when financial burdens or a lack of insurance leave you feeling stranded? You can't just give up on your own well-being. This is where the I got this method of self-care comes in. It's about taking back control. It starts with education. The internet is a vast resource. I started looking up gentle, post-op safe exercises I could do at home. I found forums with people who'd gone through the same surgery. I learned about anti-inflammatory foods I could add to my diet to support my body's healing process. Next, it's about mindset. I had to become my own cheerleader. I literally started talking to myself the way my therapist had. You did great today. Look at that little bit of extra movement. I celebrated the tiny wins. I had to generate that positive energy for myself. And finally, it's about community, but a different kind, not one you pay for. I reached out to friends. I was honest about what happened. I found free support groups online. Building a network of people who genuinely care without a price tag attached is crucial. Look, this isn't a substitute for professional medical advice, and if you can get it, you absolutely should. But when the system fails you, you cannot fail yourself. You have to find the strength to say, I got this. You have to become your own best advocate, your own biggest fan, and your own primary caregiver. Because your health and your worth are not determined by an insurance policy. They are inherent to you, and you have the power to take care of you. You ever feel like you're in a fight and you're the only one in your corner? That's been my reality for a while now. When you're facing health challenges but you don't have health insurance, you learn a hard lesson fast. Self-care isn't just a trendy hashtag, it's a survival strategy. Let's be real. If you walk into a medical facility without that magic insurance card, you're often not seen as a person in need of care. You're a liability, a number on a balance sheet. They might have care in their name, but if you can't pay, you're not welcome. It's a harsh truth, but it's the truth. Now, if you have great insurance, fantastic. You'll get the best care money can buy. But that isn't my situation, and maybe it's not yours either. So what do? You don't give up, you adopt that I got this attitude. You realize that positivity isn't just some fluffy concept. It's a powerful force for change. I had to become my own doctor, my own advocate, my own caregiver. And I've developed a 5-part strategy that has gotten me through the toughest times, and I want to share it with you. First, I had to do my research. Seriously, become your own health detective. There are so many vitamins and over-the-counter options that can help with things like pain, skin issues, or getting a decent night's sleep. And this is a big but. You can't just live on Tylenol or pop aspirin like they're candy. That's a fast track to a whole new set of problems. You have to be smart and responsible about it. This research led me to the absolute cornerstone of my self-care plan: diet. It sounds so simple, but it is everything. I was dealing with a whole host of issues. Mysterious skin conditions? My diet helped. that feeling of systemic inflammation, like my whole body was on fire, my diet helped. The frustrating brain fog that made it hard to think straight, diet. The bone-deep fatigue that made every day a struggle, you guessed it, my diet was the key. Specifically, the Mediterranean diet has been a game changer for me. It's packed with anti-inflammatory foods, nutrients, and everything your body is screaming for when it's in distress. I've got a bunch of videos on this channel that go deep into the Mediterranean diet, so definitely check those out if you're curious. It's the foundation. Okay, so we've got research and diet. The third pillar is mind. I'm talking about mindfulness. When you're in pain or feeling unwell, it's so easy for your mind to spiral into a dark place. Mindfulness is about pulling it back. It's about being present, observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment, and creating a little bit of space between you and your suffering. Even just 5 minutes of quiet meditation can completely shift the energy of your day. Number 4 is rest. And I don't just mean crashing into bed at night, I mean true, deep, restorative rest. Turning off the phone, stepping away from the endless to-do list, and letting your body and mind actually relax. It could be a warm bath, listening to calming music, or just sitting quietly and doing nothing. Your body cannot heal if it's in a constant state of stress. You have to give it permission to power down. And that brings me to the final, and maybe most important piece of the puzzle, maintaining a positive spirit. This is the I got this attitude in action. It's the belief that you can get through this. It's focusing on what you can control, not what you can't. It's celebrating small victories. It's refusing to let your circumstances define your spirit. This isn't about ignoring the reality of the situation. It's about choosing to face it with hope and determination. So, to recap, do your research, master your diet, practice mindfulness, get true rest, and keep your spirit positive. It's not a magic cure, but it's a powerful way to take back control. It's how you care for yourself when no one else will. It's how you become your own hero. You've got this. We've got this. The number of people who choose to suffer in silence, in real, actual pain, rather than go to a doctor. They're terrified of the bill that's going to show up later. And I have to be honest, I am absolutely one of those people. For years, even when I had medical insurance, I would avoid the doctor like the plague. I had this voice in my head telling me I was being a burden, that I was overreacting, that I could just tough it out. I told myself there were so many other people out there who were really sick, who really needed the help more than I did. Plus, I've almost always been in an income bracket where, after paying for rent, food, and gas, there was basically nothing left. The idea of medical care felt like a luxury item, something way beyond my means. Because it's never just the appointment, is it? There are always hidden costs, lab fees, specialist copays, bills that would show up weeks later that I knew, deep down, I just couldn't pay. So I'd just wait. I'd hope it would go away on its own. But here's the thing, and I need you to hear this loud and clear. This video is not to encourage that behavior. It's the absolute opposite. If you are sitting there right now feeling a weird pain or having a symptom that's been nagging you, and a little voice is telling you, maybe I should get this checked out, please listen to that voice. Don't wait. Don't tough it out. Grab your keys and go. Your health is not something you should gamble with to protect your ego or your pride. And trust me, I am so guilty of this. I've sat at home, convincing myself a chest pain was just anxiety, or that a headache would pass, all because I was more scared of the medical bill than the actual medical problem. But all that does is add a mountain of stress on top of whatever's physically wrong, which can make everything escalate so much faster. It's not worth it. Your life is not worth a bill. So, the whole reason I'm making this is to hopefully give you a little nudge. A nudge towards self-care, towards being self-aware about what your body is telling you. It's about learning to trust your gut. Is this something a heating pad and a good night's sleep can genuinely handle? Or is this a get in the car right now situation? You know the difference. Don't let fear make that decision for you. Your well-being is the most valuable thing you own, with or without an insurance card. Please take care of you.